iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Do you need to tell the world something? Do you need to get it out there? How about making your next ride just a little more sharp? From t-shirts to vinyl graphics to banners, your one-stop shop is Rumar Vinyl Design. Want to make that truck stand out or maybe a banner for your next business gathering? Rumar can do it all. They can even screen print on almost anything. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, even those lucky sweatpants you can't throw out. Yep, they can even do that too. For your next event, gathering, or race, your one call should be to Rumar Vinyl Design. Like them on Facebook or give them a call, 315-486-1384, Rumar Vinyl Design.
Welcome in here tonight, race fans, here to Pensacola, Florida, home of the Five Flags Speedway, here tonight for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. It's championship night, brought to you by Rumar Vinyl Designs. And, well, to bring you all the racing action, my name is Roger Muth, and alongside me, it's Kelly Dahl. Kelly, welcome back to the booth for the final race of the season, with championship implications here tonight all around the Speedway.
Yeah, the championship is definitely still up for grabs. Mainly it has come down to two drivers, though. Guillaume Fortin and Bill Martin, only 20 points separate the two of them. And basically the way it shakes down, as long as Guillaume gets 8th place or better, he will be champion at the end of the night.
And that'd be his first ever championship here with the Upstate Racing League. He has picked up 2 wins this season. Bill Martin's been able to snag 1 victory away from the clutches of this very strong competitive field. Stephen Rochefort is the top running rookie here this season, and he is 3rd overall in the championship standings, the way those Arts Barbershop championship standings are looking right now. Matthew Barkhouse is actually tied with him for that 3rd position. It looks like he should be able to wrap that up here tonight by just taking the green flag, and he is here tonight currently in his qualifying session. Joe Schaefer Jr. is 5th, and Casey Piatti is 6th overall. Brian Hacker, is there in 7th, and Brett Hahn is in the 8th spot. Justin McDuff is 9th in the championship standings, and Mike Alexander rounds out the top 10 in the championship standings. There's battles all through the top 10, so we'll keep a close eye on those here tonight. We do have 125 laps here tonight at the Five Flags Speedway to break down and narrow down who will finish where in those overall championship standings. Right now, though, the provisional poll, Kelly, looking like Bill Martin has a hot shoe.
Yeah, Bill Martin is currently sitting on pole, but Guillaume Fortin just put in his lap time, and that was good enough for 3rd place. And as I mentioned, Guillaume doesn't have to beat him. He just needs 8th, and Bill Martin was trying to do whatever he can to put himself in the best position that he can for this championship.
Looks like we will have 23 drivers here tonight on championship night. And we talked about it being championship night. We got to thank everybody behind the scenes this whole season that's made everything go, we got to thank the Hanson Starter Shop, Carpenter's Tax Service, Confusion Motorsports. We got to obviously thank Best Colorful Creations, along with Stand RC Speedway. We also got to thank the Coach's Corner, Arts Barbershop, Rumar Vinyl Designs, and the whole slew. I'm sure I met Eddie's Performance Solution. Trying to think of all of them off the top of my head here. Dr. Noise, Custom Paints and Diecast, Xander Sign Group back on board this season. We thank them for everything they do with the Upstate Racing League to make sure these races all get covered here on the Turn 3 Racing Network with Kelly and myself. And man, I'm ready to go now at this point.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this race getting started as well. And I just thought of something kind of interesting because the champion does get a die-cast model of their car, and that is done by Dr. Noise himself, Bill Martin. And I think Bill is trying to make sure he makes a model of his own car for this championship.
He did ask the community over on his page here today what car he should run here on championship night, so maybe that was one of those things. He'll let the community pick the car that he could possibly win a championship with, and then he'd have to make that his virtual car into a die-cast. So I guess that could be kind of cool, but I do know Guillaume probably wants this more than anybody. It took him a long time to pick up those 2 wins he's had here this season with the Upstate Racing League, and what a fairy tale, I guess we say, at this current moment would it be if he would pick up that championship. So we're just moments away from finding out here tonight, race fans. We thank you for joining us here on the Turn 3 Racing Network tonight for championship night. We, well, can't wait to figure out who's going to tally up the most points here tonight. The off-season is coming for the Upstate Racing League, but don't worry, that's only for the asphalt program. The dirt program still has a couple of weeks to go. Kelly, you looking forward to that too?
Yes, I am, though. Unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to miss this Sunday's race, but I will be there for the rest of the season, and it's just been a fun season so far, and hopefully we can close it out strong.
Well, we're about to close this one out here at Five Flags as qualifying officially in the books, as we get ready to go down trackside for our starting lineup for the final race of the season here with Rumar Vinyl Designs 125. The starting lineup will look like this. Starting on the front row, it's the Doctor in car number 39. Bill Martin will roll from the pole here tonight. Well, the number 6, the Epic Media number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. will go in P number 2. The driver out of Canada driving the 13G, that'll be Guillaume Fortin, your championship leader. Vernon Woodard, the driver out of Vermont in car number 73, will go 4th, while Matthew Barkow's car number 15 will go 5th. Right alongside him, driving car number 75, the Rev Racing entry, Mike Alexander, starts 6th here tonight, while KCB Eddie, car number 45, will start 7th. Ellie Musgrave qualifying into the 8th starting spot here tonight in car number 23, she'll start 8th. Brett Hahn, the driver out of Michigan, driving the 7-Eleven entry, will go 9th, and the Mad Racing number 88 of Matt McLean will start there into the 10th spot.
Rolling off on the inside of row number 6 is going to be the 5 of Scott Austin, and to his outside, the 88 of Matt Eddy. Michael Trevarthen, he's going to be rolling off in the 13th position with Brian Rogers Jr. in that Rusty's machine to his outside. Justin McDuff is going to be starting his number 20 machine in 15th, and Stephen Rochford will be in 16th. Joshua Buckley starts his car in the 17th position, and Brett Bartels in that 2B machine will be rolling off in 18th. The big boss man of Al Smith Jr., he puts that 96 car into 19th position, while Jimmy McIntyre Jr. rolls off 20th.
21st here tonight, the Higgins Hill Racing checkered flag auto supply number 40 will start 21st. 22nd, the Mr. Confusion entry himself, number 18 of A.J. Hamill. Starting back into the final position, the 802, number 4 entry of Rodney Hontoon will start 23rd. And the final starter here tonight in the Rumar Vinyl Designs 125. That's your starting lineup, and now we're ready to go racing to light the fire. 125 laps here as we get ready to creep into the Hanson Starter Shop restart zone here tonight. It's championship night for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. Season number 12 will come to an end at the end of 125 laps as we're green flag racing.
Bill Martin getting off a great start with Joe Schaefer Jr. sticking to his outside. Schaefer trying to find that inside line, and he will get it, so he's going to hold off second place. Caution flag is going to fly almost immediately as we have got a few cars spun on the exit of turn 2.
Scott Austin involved back here, and I believe a couple other drivers maybe Getting a little contact, a little swipe in here tonight. Rodney Hontoon back there, slow as he creeped out of turn number 2. Maybe saw it coming. Well, let's take the look back here. Well, it actually happened in front of our camera here, but it is going to be the number 5 of Scott Austin. Let's see if we can back that one up a little bit farther here from the truck and see. Watch that 5 car. Scott Austin down to the inside, down here in turns 1 and 2. Oh, he got a nice little tap in the rear end there by the McLean entry. Did a 360 in the Austin Designs number 5 and kept going. Everybody scattered around that spinning car down in turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, fairly minor incident when all things considered. I think that's number 5 machine doesn't have too much damage. Really doesn't look like much damage at all to the number 5 car. So he should be able to keep that car rolling and stay in this event, but that is going to drop him all the way back into 20th.
So it'll be a long night now for those drivers to see where they come back through the field at. As there you see the 4, Rodney Hontoon coming to pit road. A.J. Hamill down pit road, along with the boss man, Al Smith Jr. So those 3 drivers making their way to pit road. I don't know if they learned much from that start there, Kelly, to be making adjustments on their car or anything. Maybe just a fuel stop there. It is 125 laps, but I do believe we're like just got enough fuel.
They may want to be playing it safe, making that stop early and trying to maybe stretch the fuel out. But there's 3 guys that have got that plan. We'll have to keep an eye on them. But the drivers do have an extra set of tires in the pits. That is a bit of a rare thing in this league, and we'll have to see who's going to take those tires at any point in this race and if it's going to help them, because this track is hot and it is going to eat these tires up.
Well, talking about hot, talking about heavy, these drivers are going to come back into the Hampton Starter Shop restart zone this time by. We will have 5 laps officially completed here tonight in the Rumar Vinyl Designs 125. Green flag back into the air. The doctor, Bill Martin, will lead us to turn 1 with a great start.
The 45, Casey Bietti, he's actually got a good run on the outside. He's challenging Guillaume Fortin for 3rd place. Fortin having to hold that inside line, and that is going to cost his tires just a little bit as he has a shallow entry into turns 3 and 4. That 45 of Bietti, he is rolling the high side quite well, and he's actually going to get clear of the 13G.
Brett Hahn just behind them. He's out there running the outside lane right now, and that will be the number 75 of Mike Alexander down to the inside currently. Mike having a new paint scheme here tonight on championship night. 1 driver back there, I believe that was the 88 of Matt Eddy, scraping the outside wall down the straightaway. Right now, Hahn still to the outside of the R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage, number 75 of Mike Alexander. That outside lane working early here tonight with the sun beating down on the speedway. Brett Hahn will make pass and now put himself into P number 7.
And so we're seeing earlier that there are 2 lanes to work here on this racetrack. We've seen these drivers running that inside lane for the most part, but that outside lane has been able to make a few passes, as we've seen with Brett Hahn and Matthew Barkhouse now.
So it is Bill Martin, Joe Schaefer, Barkhouse, Guillaume as Matt Eddy into the outside wall in the Eddy Performance Solution number 88. He's got damage to the left front. Now he's got damage to the right front. There goes Justin McDuff. He'll go down to the inside. I believe that's the 72. It's showing 66 on the scoring monitor here for us in the booth. That'll be Stephen Roachford there in the Norms red number 72. VT here, Brian Rogers just behind him. They're all kind of stacked up behind Matt Eddy, who bounced it off the wall just a couple laps ago. Matt McLean just behind them. He'll make a pass on the number 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. So he makes the pass on the inside lane on the Best Colorful Creations number 81. So the passing from the inside to the outside lane all over the Five Flags Speedway as Bill Martin continues to lead down the back straightaway.
Now Stephen Roachford making the move on Matt Eddy. It seems like that damage to the 88 machine is costing him. It's costing him a lot of speed as Roachford goes through. And now here comes Ryan Rogers Jr. He's trying to make that move to the inside. And Brett Bartell's closing up the gap. He wants to follow all these 3 drivers through.
More contact to the outside wall for Matt Eddy as he just tries to hold that car to the outside. It is not handling very well here in the first handful of laps here tonight at the Five Flags Speedway. There you see the 2B, the Bartell Builders entry of Brett Bartels. He'll now make the pass. That'll be the 4th spot he has picked up here tonight at Five Flags early on in this one. Scott Austin just behind Matt Eddy now in the Austin Designs number 5. We'll see if he can continue to climb through the field. Remember, he was the car that got spun down in turns 1 and 2 on the opening lap here tonight. Has already clawed his way back 8 positions into the 16th spot now. As we knock another one off the board here, Bill Martin still continuing to hold the race lead. Your championship leader, though, Guillaume Fortin, right now sitting in the 4th spot, doing exactly what he needs to do here early on. As Casey Bietti a little sideways that time off turn number 2. He was into the outside wall, looks like, as he got the right front fender crinkled up. Vernon Woodard now, brand new paint scheme on that car, looking to pounce possibly on the 45 of Bietti.
And Guillaume is doing exactly what he needs to do. He does not need to go out and win this race. He has this championship in his own control. If you weren't here at the beginning of the race to mention it, the magic number for Guillaume Fortin is 8. As long as he is 8th place or higher, it does not matter where Bill Martin places. Bill Martin can lead every single lap of this race, and it will not matter as long as Guillaume Fortin keeps himself in this top 8.
And he's done it. Right now he's running 4th. Vernon Woodard got tight that time off 4 in the Stand RC Speedway entry. He had to lift out of the throttle. Brett Hahn just behind him. Still Mike Alexander. Ellie Musgrave still sitting there into the 9th spot. And Michael Trevarthen, his rookie campaign, inside the top 10 here tonight. He came in with high hopes, high expectations for himself in car number 2 this season. He's 15th overall in the championship standings after 9 official counted starts here in the Upstate Racing League. He has finished in the top 5 one time, 2 top 10s so far this season, but has not been able to break into P number 1 to lead any laps this season. But another strong showing here on the final night of the season.
Now it's looking like Casey Bietti. He is all over the bumper of Guillaume Fortin. He's been taking some looks to maybe see if he can try to make a move at some point, and I don't think anyone here on this track, though, is wanting to make any sort of aggressive move around Bill Martin or Guillaume Fortin. Nobody wants to be the guy that's known as the person that wrecked someone out of a championship contention, but at the same time, they've got their own races they want to run, and that 45 car is looking quick. He is definitely putting some pressure on Fortin.
Casey Bietti over the last couple of weeks has really shown the speed in car number 45. He has not finished worse than 6th in the last 4 races of the season so far. Last time he finished outside the top 6, it was back on January the 4th, where he finished back in 21st position, a night that he wanted to forget. He was wrapped up in a big wreck and, well, really couldn't get the car pointed back into the right direction, so 21st. And then it was 3rd, 2nd, 6th, and a 5th, and here tonight still showing speed as his counterpart from up north, Vernon Woodard, right behind him also. It looked like that was the 15 to Matthew Barkhouse, getting very close to the outside wall. That car got tight out of turn 2. He kept his Xander Sign Group number 15, though, out of the outside retaining walls. He closes in now back on the Epic Media number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr., who still continues to run into that 2nd spot following Bill Martin. The top 2 spots have not exchanged hands here tonight.
No, but these drivers have to be careful with their tires. As I mentioned, this track is very hot and way over the 100-degree mark, and we've seen a few times before, Bill Martin is very good at taking care of those tires. When it comes to a long green flag run, that plays directly into the hands of Dr. Noyes himself, because he loves those long runs. He can really take care of that right front, and even with the extra set of tires they have in hand, if it goes green the whole way, Bill Martin is not going to care.
Looks like he keeps fluctuating that race lead, does Bill Martin over Joe Schaefer Jr. It was as high as about a half a second, now back down to just 0.2 of a second. Here we're working lap number 30, longest run of the night here under green. We got the first caution on lap number 1 in turns 1 and 2. Since then, we went back racing on lap number 6, and we have run it green to this point here tonight in the Rumar Vinyl Designs 125 here for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series, presented tonight by the Upstate Racing League as we are continuing to click off the laps here. Scott Austin looking to pick up another one. He'll look to the inside of the 2B of Brett Bartels. Matt Eddy has fallen all the way back here into the 16th running position. There's Matt McLean as they're close down in turns 1 and 2. You saw the 88 drift up the speedway there to try to get away from the other 88 of Matt McLean. And they kept it off each other as they're playing a little defensive right now, but it's still Bartels to the outside of the Schillings number 5 of Scott Austin. Austin still wrapping the bottom side of the speedway, and out in front of him, another battle with Ellie Musgrave, Stephen Rochford, Justin McDuff, and Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen to the inside of car number 23, and she'll give him a little tap into the back end, and the caution lights are going to come on as 2 cars up against the outside wall. That'll be the 2 of Trevarthen and the number 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. as Ellie Musgrave rolls away from that. She'll have a little damage on car number 23.
Yeah, some heavy damage to her car as well as Trevarthen, and looks like the 12 of Brian Rogers Jr. went pretty hard nose into that wall, so hopefully these guys will be able to come down pit road and maybe fix those cars up a little bit. But with how short this track is and how fast the caution laps go by, they may go a lap down trying to repair them.
Watching that one back, it looked like Musgrave just tried to get down to the bottom to block the 66 of Rochford as he was trying to make the move to the inside also to try to get around Musgrave. So they're fighting very hard for the bottom side, and Trevarthen possibly just lifting just a tad earlier than Musgrave thought he was gonna. And there you see it exactly like that. Musgrave just trying to drive it in a little bit farther. Trevarthen lifting earlier than he possibly had been. 23 into the back of the 2 will take the number 12 along for the ride.
And we'll have to see if there's any takers coming down pit road. Does not seem like anyone's going to want to go this early to maybe take that other set of tires. Only drivers that have come down pit road were the ones that are involved in that last caution. I believe actually there was maybe some others as well. It looks like maybe Rob Higgins came down pit road that last time as well.
Does look like Higgins did come to pit road on lap number 35 for about 7 seconds, so that could have been one of those strategy plays that we talked about earlier on here. We are working the second caution flag of the evening here, brought to us by our friends over at Confusion Performance, also known as AJ Hamill, not knowing how to figure out how to go fast making left turns, from what I'm being told. That was from the boss man, Al Smith, Kelly. Don't shoot the messenger.
I don't know why you're talking to me about that, but caution lights are off on the pace car, or actually truck, this week, and we are about to get back to green flag racing. Bill Martin still in control of this field, and we'll have to see if anyone's going to be able to challenge him tonight.
Ellie Musgrave did take claim to the caution flag. She will drop to the back of the field, so it'll be 23rd starting spot here after the second caution flag of the evening for Ellie Musgrave. Michael Trevarthen in 22nd. Pace truck off. The doctor says, let's dance.
A little bit of a wiggle in the back end throughout the field as those drivers try to keep themselves from spinning the tires. Looks like the 15 of Barco is getting a little bit squirrely coming into turn number 1. That was looking like Guillaume wanted to go down to the bottom to go with him, but after seeing that car get loose, he got stuck right back on that high side. Bill Martin starting to drive away as the rest of the field is pretty much 2x2 behind him.
Looks like Daytona here in Florida, but it's the Five Flags Speedway 2x2. The outside lane there rolling now as Joe Schaefer Jr. able to get around car number 15 to take back the second spot. Guillaume trying to take the third spot away from the Xander Sign Group number 15 of Matthew Barkhouse. Barkhouse down on the bottom side of the speedway. Casey Bietti jammed up down low as that's the 73 of Vernon Wooder. Outside lane going to prevail for Guillaume as now it looks like the 15 trying to come off the bottom. Just about 3 wide racing that time between turns 3 and 4. Bietti was sideways off 4.
Yeah, Bietti had a little bit of a gap that he thought he was going to go for in the inside of that 15 car, but Barkhouse immediately closed that door coming off of turn number 4. It looked like he was just trying to diamond that corner a little bit, getting a good run off the corner, and that is going to allow him to hang on to 4th place. Vernon Woodard now going to dive down in front of that 45 and get himself back to the bottom side.
He got to the bottom side and then drifted up the speedway. That opened up the chance here. Casey Bietti not going to be able to handle the momentum down the straightaway. So now Bietti going to make a little contact there with the car number 75. One car up into the outside wall off turn number 4. That'll be car 66 of Stephen Rochford. He has been up into the outside wall. Not sure if there was a little contact there. Just saw the car into the outside wall. So that Norm, number 66 entry, now dropping back into the 15th starting spot. He was just on the verge of breaking into the top 10, as look who's in the top 10 now. Car number 5 of Scott Austin has worked his way back inside the top 5. Can't tell me that car is not fast here tonight, as he had to go, well, to the shotgun of the rear of the field. A shotgun to the field there for car number 5. He's already back into the top 10.
And following him through, that's Matt McLean. McLean was the one that spun the 5 and claimed the caution, and he had to go all the way to the tail end of the field as well, but he has now just been following Scott Austin through the field, just getting around the 2B of Brett Bartels now, and Bartels actually having a great run off the high side of turn number 4. He's going to challenge back to the 88 of Matt McLean. McLean now getting pressure from both the outside and right behind him, as Al Smith Jr. is all over that rear bumper.
Al Smith is right there in car number 96. There you see the driver out of South Glens Falls, New York. The Stand RC Speedway entry. His season's getting ready to kick off up in New York here in just a couple short weeks, as he'll wrap up his iRacing summer off, or winter off season, we should say, as you see him now to the inside of the 2B of Bartels. Got AJ Hamill in the Art Barbershop number 18 right there also. So Smith and Bartels running together on the dirt side of things, going side by side here tonight on asphalt here at the Five Flag Speedway. A little bobble that time by Bartels coming into the corner, maybe slight contact. The 2B will run wide that time down to 3 and 4, and Smith should be able to have that position here by the time he comes off turn 2. But hold the phone, because Bartels drove it in deep that time, and he'll wind up in the wall.
Yeah, it looked like Al Smith got a little bit too much on the throttle, got a little tight, and that just kind of led the 2B up into the wall. Bartels caught the wall hard. There is some damage to that right front, but we'll have to see just how much damage and how that will affect him, because we saw the 88 of Matt Eddy earlier. He got some damage from hitting that wall, and it looked like it may have messed up the toe of his car, and ever since then he has moved towards the back of the field. But
yeah, Matt Eddy is all the way back into the 18th running position, right behind Joshua Buckley in the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry. As you see, Bartels still to the outside. There went Brian Rogers Jr. He was wrapped up in that last wreck sideways again for the 2B. Buckley got to dive to the bottom side here, see if he can try and get around the ill-handling 2B entry. You're the only drivers currently side by side here on the speedway. Bartels will actually hold off the 13 MA of Joshua Buckley here in his advance for position. Working lap number 54 here tonight at the Five Flag Speedway. There's a look at your race leader, car number 39, the Doctor, Bill Martin, showing the way over car number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. Guillaume Fortin sitting back there in third. That's how the top 3 look after 54 completed laps here tonight in the Rumar Vinyl Designs 125.
And quite the gap is forming here with Bill Martin and Joe Schaefer Jr. over the rest of the field. Pretty much 7/10 of a second separate the back of Joe Schaefer to the front of that 13G of Guillaume Fortin. But at the same time, as we mentioned, Guillaume is not pushing hard. He's just trying to keep his car clean, keep himself safe, and try to bring this championship home.
Brett Hahn, Mike Alexander, a champion versus a rookie here. Alexander has picked up a championship here with the Upstate Racing League, and Brett Hahn, a 2-time winner this season. In car number 711, wrapping the bottom side of the speedway. That would put Brett Hahn into the 7th spot. Here comes Justin McDuff. J Mac now to the bottom, and there's Scott Austin. So Austin still trying to climb his way through the field here tonight. That car is just absolutely on rails. Whatever is underneath that 5 machine, it is working here tonight, and I can tell you, he still has his set of tires, his backup set in pit road, that if he were to need to throw them on car number 5 here tonight, he has them. That car's a rocket ship now. I don't want to see that car on new tires, because I'm sure it's going to put the field a lap down.
And with the field coming up towards the halfway point in just a few more laps, I would suspect that if anyone's going to be taking tires, it would be at the next caution. So we'll have to see if anyone is going to make that change or take that chance. But at the same time, it will put them way deep in the field if only a few drivers come down pit road. But that advantage of the tires may just be enough that they could slice through the field if do something like Scott Austin has done.
Brett Hahn taking a peek to the inside here on the 45 of Casey Piatti. Those two have been working together for the second half of this season, and both programs there have started to get much better. We talked about Casey Pietty in the last 4 starts here and finishes. Brett Hahn also, remember, picking up 2 wins. One back there dominating at the Irwindale Speedway. He was the only driver able to roll the bottom side of the speedway and make it work on his way to his first victory of the season. As you see him now taking claim to P number 6. See if he can run down Vernon Woodard here tonight. The driver out of Vermont having a heck of a battle. And I'm noticing one transponder off the track. And nope, he's back. I was looking at car number 20 of Justin McDuff. That car was not responding on our timing and scoring, but the car is back. He's still sitting there into that 9th spot.
And Justin McDuff has been having himself a good race as well so far, up 6 spots already from where he started all the way back in 15th, but now currently under pressure from that 5 of Scott Austin as he is just trying to chase down the 75 of Mike Alexander while at the same time keeping one eye on that rearview mirror.
That's something you have to do here, is always keep an eye in the mirror and listen to your spotter, because the speeds here tonight at the Five Flags Speedway very high, about 125, 130 miles an hour. It may not be the 200 miles an hour down the road at the Daytona International Speedway, but this little track, this half-mile track, and speeds like that, laps click off in about, well, a rough 17 seconds. Right now, we're running about 17, a little over 17, actually 17.1 seconds last time by for the race leader of Bill Martin. The fastest car on the speedway, though, was Joe Schaefer Jr. as he applies pressure to the back car number 39 here as we go into 3.
And the clouds have come out and then cooled the track off just a little bit, but those couple of degrees do make a bit of a difference in terms of grip and speed. But Bill Martin and Joe Schaefer Jr. are taking full advantage of that as they have opened up over a second over to the 13G of Guillaume Fortin, who sits in 3rd place, who himself has a half-second lead over Matthew Barkhouse.
Is that a strategy play here by Guillaume? Maybe he doesn't have the car that's quite fast enough here tonight, but just good enough to keep those race leaders in his, his sight line right there.
That may be an opportunity for him to chase them down, but I'm sure he is just going to be trying to take things nice and easy, as Brett Hahn actually just got around Vernon Woodard there through turns 1 and 2. So Brett Hahn moves himself up in the top 5, and now he's going to start chasing down Matthew Barkhouse.
That'll put him up 4 spots from where he started, the driver out of Michigan in his rookie campaign. Now will set his sight on the R&R Kingsman Auto Salvage Xander Sign Group, number 15 of Barkhouse, and you can tell he is very fast because he's closing in on car number 15. Come by this time, and that'll be 71 laps in the book. So we're over the halfway point home here tonight in the Rumar Vinyl Designs. 125 as they have single filed this race out. You see Brett Hahn now half a car length to the car number 15.
The other thing we do have to keep in mind, to just keep in the back of our head here, is maybe that fuel situation, as we saw a few drivers early on in those first couple cautions come down and just take a splash of fuel. So maybe they figure that with the amount of green flag running we're having, they are not going to have enough fuel to make the entire distance. So keep an eye on these leaders, as if we keep green flag running, there might be a little bit of a shakeup later down the line.
No shakeup at the front of the field. Still Bill Martin, still Joe Schaefer Jr., Guillaume Fortin, Matthew Barkhouse, and Brett Hahn now peeking to the inside here. How hard will Barkhouse make Hahn work? Holds him right down there as low as he can. Hahn really putting the left side tires down on the white painted line there, and it got a little bumpy down in turn number 1, so they had to move up the speedway. Hahn will try to regroup and see what else he can do here to get around car number 15. He'll try to diamond this corner off. He'll get right to the back bumper there. Hahn now with a little swipe to the left. Not going to be able to get there in turn 3.
Well, we've seen the high line work a few times here tonight. We'll have to see if Brett Hahn maybe wants to make a chance to try it out. But right now he is trying to fight that 15 car for the bottom side of the field. And the 15 of Barkhouse, he is not letting him have it. But look at that, all over him as he puts pretty much bumper to bumper coming down the back straightaway.
And it's almost locked together that time out of turn number 4. Then they separated by the time they got halfway down the straightaway. Han definitely having the faster car, just has to find a way. Still trying to diamond it off and keep the momentum rolling. Car 7-11 here tonight. Now what will he do this time? Look at this. Look at that shot. Look how good that 7-11 looks here tonight. That 15 looking pretty in blue also. Best dressed here tonight as it's the final race of the season. Try to get everything you can, lay it all out onto the table. That number 15 drifted up the track that time down to 3 and 4, but Brett Hahn not able to capitalize on it just yet.
Yeah, Han still looking for his opening, still looking for his gap. He's kind of backed off just a little bit, not quite putting on the same amount of pressure as he was putting earlier, but he's definitely close enough to make an opportunistic move if the 15 were to make any sort of mistake and open up a gap on that bottom side, because it seems like the bottom is where that 7-11 just wants to stay.
Now he challenges down to the inside. Here comes Brett Hahn. He'll get the nose of that car in there. Looks like the 15 of Barkhouse drifted up again in the center of 3 and 4. Now down into turn number 1. Brett Hahn will have the inside lane that he's been battling for. Can he pull off the corner, though? Sideways for the 7-11. Almost into the quarter panel there of Barkhouse out of turn 2. That car was wibble-wobbly each direction.
Yeah, I was hearing from some of the drivers before this race started that the car is slippery coming off of the corners, and at this stage of the race, after how long they've been out there, I'm sure that right rear tire is feeling it at this point. It is probably very hard to keep this car pointed in a straight line coming off the corner because there is a lot of power underneath their right foot.
Now that number 7-11 is going to have to cool the tires off to see if he can get run back at it a little deeper into the field, though. The 13 MA Joshua Buckley, there's the 2 of Trevarthen, there's Rogers, there's Hontoon, Musgrave, and Higgins. They are all back here lined up. That is from the 17th spot all the way back to 23rd. They are battling here.
Oh, and the 12 of Rogers Jr. gets into the wall coming off of turn number 4. That's going to cost him a few spots. That's going to put him side by side with Ellie Musgrave for 21st place, and he's going to have to try to recover. Is just in front of them, though. Looks like the 13 of Joshua Buckley got a little bit tight coming through turns 3 and 4. He went way up the racetrack and went from challenging Jimmy McIntyre Jr. to being right behind Rodney Huntoon.
There you see Joshua Buckley, the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes entry. Ellie Musgrave has not been able to really rebound since her little incident, as she restarted back into the 23rd spot, has only worked her way now to 21st. So maybe that car has a little more underlying damage than what we thought it did. We thought it was just possibly a right front fender crinkled up on car number 23, but it's showing that it could be more. Now back to the front here. Brett Hahn now to the inside again of car number 15. Can he complete this pass here this time? Runs it a little higher than normal off the bottom side down in turn 1, but right back down to the bottom in the center of 1 and 2. It just can't get that drive off. That car really, I think, needs to drift about a half a car length up for the 7-11 of Brett Hahn to get the power down, and he can't do that with Barkhouse hanging to the outside.
And the other thing to look at is turns 3 and 4. There is some shadows on that high side of the racetrack from the trees. That's going to cause that high side to be just a little bit cooler and maybe have a little bit of grip on that top side and be able to roll off the power a little more on the front straightaway. But Brett Hahn fighting very well on that bottom side. He is still even up with Matthew Barkhouse. Neither one of these guys is trying to making a mistake, and they are pretty much completely even coming through yet another lap.
Hahn gonna surge forward, but it will be Barkhouse at the scoring loop who did have that spot. Now, though, Barkhouse drifts up the track just a small bit. Hahn by about a splitter that time down the back straightaway. Good side-by-side battle here, and it's inside the top 5. Scott Austin, Matt McLean also doing battle back there, trying to figure out who is going to have that 9th position. But we stay locked right here because this battle inside the top 5 is still raging on. And if Hahn can clear, then looking at the laps, does he have enough time to go try and get Guillaume and Joe Schaefer and Bill Martin? I don't know how fast that car is going to be after this heated battle here, because the tires for both these drivers are starting to get chewed up here the longer they run side by side.
Last time we saw them go side by side, we saw Brett Hahn get loose coming off of turn number 2. This time, though, Brett Hahn is still keeping that car pointed in the right direction, but He's always got to keep in mind that he does not have the grip that he had earlier on in this race. These tires are hot and they are worn out, so these machines are just becoming a lot more difficult to handle. And Matthew Barkow is really rolling that high side well. Actually looked like he may have got a little bit tight off of 4 and had to lift off, but he is still door-to-door with that 7-Eleven car.
And they told us that the dynamic track was broken. Here tonight, we've seen the outside work, and now we've seen these two drivers locked in the battle for at least the last 7 to 8 laps side by side. Hahn that time a little sideways off the corner. That allowed the 15 of Matthew Barkhouse back around at the scoring loop. Hahn seems like he's been inching ahead, but he'll slide that time again out of turn 2 here on lap number 97. This is a heck of a race here for that 4th and 5th position.
Yeah, 2 completely different lines, each one actually trying to modify their line every single time. And now looking just behind them, we've got another battle as well as Bietti goes to the inside of Vernon Woodard. So now we've got a battle for 4th place and a battle for 6th place, which is each one completely even.
And out front, in case you were wondering, because the laps are closing down, that's the distance right there. We'll change the camera momentarily. We'll show you the race leaders. Bill Martin, Joe Schaefer Jr. Schaefer knows what's on the line for Martin up there. I'm sure he's not going to do anything too risky, as there's the battle then. Back here for 4th and 5th, still side by side. Vernon Woodard and Casey Bietti still side by side with Justin McDuff right behind them.
And Brett Hahn and Matthew Barkhouse, each one is neither one really giving up an inch, as they are still completely even, just trading positions at the line each time, and neither one has been separated by even 1/100th of a second at the line for these last maybe 10-15 laps. I've kind of lost count at this point how long this battle's been raging.
We'll look at it from this camera angle. 24 laps to go at the line. Matthew Barkhouse will have 3rd. So that won't exchange that position that time. Now that outside lane's starting to prevail here. Brett Hahn, the Jet, making a couple mistakes here back to back, and now that's starting to lose. Oh, sideways again for the 7-Eleven. The 15 just about have him clear down into 1. They single file it out momentarily for that 4th and 5th position.
And just behind them, things have gotten single file as well, as Bietti got around Vernon Woodard. Now Woodard is going to have to defend against the 20 of McDuff. McDuff getting his nose just to the inside of that 73 is not going to be quite enough, though, as that high side really seems to be good at defending, especially coming off of turns 3 and 4.
And Matt McLean and Scott Austin both rebounding inside the top 10, just outside the top 10. Al Smith, there's Stephen Roachford. He's been into the wall a time or two in car number 66. He's back to running in 12th. A.J. Hamill's back there in 13th. Brett Bartels and Matt Eddy rounding out the top 15. That's how they currently are here tonight on the scoring, with under 20 laps to go, because they got the 20 to go marker that time when they all came by the line. Brett Hahn trying to get to the outside here of the R&R Kingsman entry, as he just can't quite get there. It's just the long way around when you're trying to chase somebody.
And there's a few more battles brewing in the rest of the field, as Al Smith Jr. putting some pressure on this 5 of Scott Austin. Now he's taking a look to the inside. Not going to quite work, though, as now he's going to get into Roachford. Roachford trying to go on that high side. They're going to rub some paint, rub some fenders. And
battle for the race lead, though. Joe Schaefer Jr. to the inside in 3 and 4. Just made the pass. Bill Martin out of the throttle, lifted completely. Let Joe Schaefer go by. Now Bill Martin back into 2nd. Guillaume Fortin right there starting to roll in the race leaders. This could be a 3-horse race here tonight at the Five Flag Speedway. Under 20 to go, 17 to be exact at the line for Joe Schaefer Jr. First race lead change of the night.
And that gap between Bill Martin and Guillaume Fortin was almost 2 seconds at one point, and now Fortin only a second behind Joe Schaefer Jr. as Schaefer tries to run away with this race lead. Bill Martin seems to have maybe just pushed a little bit too hard. I was saying he was good at taking care of those tires, but maybe the thought of a championship was too much. He was pushing really hard and taking a big lead, and may have worn those tires out early, as now Guillaume Fortin putting all sorts of pressure on his championship rival.
Or see if he's able to get around the 39 of Bill Martin, or maybe he'll just ride here in P number 3. Does not have to pass the 39 of Martin, but Martin with a rare mistake out of turn number 2. That'll allow the 13 of Guillaume there to the inside. He'll make the pass. It'll be 14 to go. Now the deficit, though, if Guillaume wants to go get another win here tonight, 1.4 seconds with 14 laps here left remaining at the Five Flags Speedway. And they're going to go quick here. So it's Schaefer, it's Fortin, it's Martin, your top three.
I'm sure for Guillaume Fortin, though, these laps are not going to feel like they're very short, because it's probably going to feel like an eternity sitting in the position that he is in to really win this championship, as he is not only in the position to guarantee himself the championship, he's fully ahead of his championship rival now after Bill Martin led the opening really majority of this race.
12 to go. Schaefer will see 11 to go when he comes by the line. Everybody else around the track has gone single file. Brett Hahn has not been able to pick up that spot from car number 15 to Matthew Barkhouse, so they continue to run nose to tail here with 11 laps to go. We're winding down well, they're starting to break out the check and the championship trophy here tonight. Double high five, though, for Joe Schaefer at the line. 10 more laps, 5 more miles of racing.
And Joe Schaefer Jr. running some very fast lap times. He has opened up that gap over Guillaume Fortin, and Fortin, though, really just trying to cruise his way to the championship, as Schaefer is just taking off with this race lead, as he's now opened that gap up over a 1.7 seconds now.
So 1.7 for the race lead, and then you got to go deep into the field. Scott Austin, Al Smith Jr., and Stephen Roachford all battling here to see who can take the top 10, or at least the 10th position. Matt McLean just ahead of them with McDuff and Vernon Woodard, all falling back into the clutches here of these drivers.
Yeah, Matt McLean, he was the one that claimed the first caution of the night, went all the way to the tail end of the field, so he has gone essentially from 23rd position all the way up into 9th throughout the course of this race. So some great driving from that 88 machine, and he's been doing doing very well tonight, as the 20 of McDuff took a look to the inside of Vernon, and now we've actually got a few drivers coming down pit road, so I think this is the case. These drivers do not have enough fuel to go the whole distance.
Could be why Bill Martin slowed the pace here. 2 drivers to pit road with 6 to go. Casey Bietti, Vernon Woodard not able to make it all the way. The question is now, does the race leader, as he'll see 5 to go, 5 fingers in the air, they're waving at him. Joe Schaefer Jr. has 5 laps to go, but does he have enough fuel?
And really, I'm watching the 13 and the 39, because if Bill Martin did let off the gas to try to save that fuel and stretch it to the end, is he going to be able to stay out, and is the 13 going to have to come down pit road? Because if that's the case, that's going to mean a championship for Bill Martin, and that would be probably the wildest way to win a championship here in the Upstate Racing League.
This time by, I was listening to the 13 crack the throttle on the straightaways for Guillaume. He was not under full power. 3 to go. We'll wind him up. We will throw him out, this time out of turn 4. It'll be 2 laps to go for Joe Schaefer Jr. here tonight at the Rumar Vinyl Designs. 1:25. Another driver to pit road. That'll be Matt McLean this time. Car 88 will not have enough fuel here tonight to go the rest of the way. He'll have to pit as the caution lights are on. The caution lights are on. The 2B of Brett Bartels having problems here. So if the fuel wasn't a big enough problem, now we're going to extend this race here tonight at the Five Flags Speedway, and oh boy.
Yeah, that is now going to put a huge question mark in the air. Will Guillaume Fortin have enough fuel? He is not. Here comes Guillaume Fortin, and Bill Martin is going to follow him. Both of them coming down pit road now to get some fuel and maybe some tires. I'm sure it's going to be just a splash and go, though, to try to defend that track position. So we'll have to see what is going to shake out with here, because I also don't know if pit road was open when they came down.
It's a good question, but either way, if you need fuel, you need fuel, and both drivers had to come. Matthew Barkhouse also down on pit road. It looks like he went a lap down, actually, and they are putting tires on the 13G and the 39. The race off pit road, I think Bill Martin actually may have crossed the transponder line first. We'll wait to see where they actually officially get lined up here. Take a look back here, though, at the 2B of Bartels, what actually happened for Brett as he went down to the corner, missed the bottom side of the speedway, and it looks like they were put 3 wide, and a little net code there between the 2 of Trevarthen and the 2B of Brett Bartels. Will send that 2B around as the white flag was getting ready to be flown here tonight on championship night, but that brought out a caution, and that puts us where we are with championship implications all over the speedway. Joe Schaefer Jr. has stayed out here tonight. Justin McDuff, Al Smith Jr., Scott Austin, A.J. Hamill, Matt Eddy, Michael Trevarthen, Mike Alexander, Jimmy McIntyre, and Josh Buckley is how they line up. Rob Higgins is 11th. He did not pit either. Everybody else, Bill Martin, Fortin, Rochefort, Hahn, Bartels, Bietti, Rogers, Hontoon, Woodard, they all came to pit road. So strategies galore here tonight.
Yeah, Joe Schaefer Jr. was running pretty much right behind Bill Martin for majority of this race while Martin was leading, so maybe just that small amount of draft was able to help Schaefer keep a kind of a bit of a close tabs on his fuel consumption, so maybe he will be able to make it. But those drivers behind them, they did come down, I think, on the first caution. I know at least Al Smith Jr. on that very first caution came down and topped up his fuel, but looking back at the 39 and the 13, one thing to note is these guys only took right side tires, so we'll have to see if that's going to change the handling characteristics of these cars, and we'll have to see if maybe one of them can open up a gap over the other to take the championship.
Drivers who have not come to pit road: Joe Schaefer Jr., Justin McDuff, Scott Austin, Mike Alexander, Jimmy McIntyre, and Josh Buckley will come back here into the restart zone. Green flag up. Joe Schaefer Jr. on the loud pedal, and he'll jump out to a huge
big wreck. Caution is out. The race is going to end. There is a huge crash, and I believe it did catch Guillaume Fortin just a little bit. We'll have to see where Fortin is going to be scored by the race control, and we'll have to see where he's going to be put and if it's going to be enough to give him the championship, because Bill Martin did get through that clean.
So the white flag has been flown here tonight. It will be Joe Schaefer Jr. picking up the win. It'll be Schaefer, it'll be McDuff, and Al Smith coming across the line, 1, 2, and 3. We'll have to wait for the truck here. We will get that replay to show you what happened on the restart. But there you see the Epic Media number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. He'll come across the line. He will pick up the win here tonight. Let's take a look here. Something tells me, or something is pointing me to the 81 of Jimmy McIntyre. Oh, A.J. Hamill up the track into the 5 of Scott Austin, and then that's going to wipe the 18, the 5, the 81 down to the inside. Ellie Musgrave also involved with Michael Trevarthen. They were stuck to the outside there together.
Looking at how things are scored, it seems like Bill Martin is going to be scored in 8th and Guillaume Fortin in 12th. So if the standings are going to stand like they are, that is going to mean Guillaume Fortin is your champion.
So we'll wait for the official word, but we can tell you it was Schaefer, McDuff, and Smith across the line here tonight. We'll talk to them. We'll figure out who will be your champion here tonight, and we'll be back to the Five Flags Speedway after this.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12-Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Do you need to tell the world something? Do you need to get it out there? How about making your next ride just a little more sharp? From t-shirts to vinyl graphics to banners, your one-stop shop is Rumar Vinyl Design. Want to make that truck stand out or maybe a banner for your next business gathering? Rumar can do it all. They can even screen print on almost anything. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, even those lucky sweatpants you can't throw out. Yep, they can even do that too. For your next event, gathering, or race, your one call should be to Rumar Vinyl Design. Like them on Facebook or give them a call, 315-486-1384, Rumar Vinyl Design.
Welcome back here to the Five Flags Speedway. Race fans, here tonight, the Rumar Vinyl Designs Championship Night for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series presented by the Upstate Racing League has officially completed. The championship points are being tallied here tonight. We will have your champion standing by here in just a couple of moments. So let's start things off here tonight in victory lane for the final time this season. Joe Schaefer Jr. standing by here. Joe, another victory for you here tonight. This one, you rode there in second for a little while, saving some fuel, and then all of a sudden, people started to drop at the end of this race. Did you get worried?
Very. Bill did a good job pacing me kind of for the entire race, and I felt like he was going a little bit too hard, especially when we started to run away from third place and the rest of the field, but our lap times weren't falling off, so I didn't want to say anything and ruin his momentum, ruin his rhythm, whatever. And then we got that long green flag run, and we had Matt Eddy in the channel with us telling us the numbers, and we should have been good. But I guess Bill just went a little bit too hard, and when it became obvious he wasn't going to make it, he made it real easy for me to get around him, so I appreciate that.
From there, you kind of walked away, though. You had at one point almost a 2-second race lead then over second. Were you hoping the race went to green to the finish?
Yeah. I knew it was close, and I couldn't remember if we got 1 or 2 attempts at a green-white checkered. I was just hoping for the white flag, and then almost got it. It came off of turn 4, and there was a car, parked backwards up against the inside wall. And I thought maybe we tricked the iRacing system and it was going to throw me the white anyway and end the race. But pacing around there, waiting for the green-white checkered was not good. I had 0.4 gallons left, so having an immediate caution after taking the green was perfectly fine with me because I think it would have been really close.
Well, either way, you cut it close here tonight, and you pick up your second win of the season, so congratulations to you. We'll roll the red carpet out here. The microphone will become yours, Joe. Second win of the season, who made this all possible as you head into the offseason.
Once again, I'll thank Dr. Noise Custom Paints and Diecast. Tough luck for him, but also happy for Guillaume. Guillaume went his entire career without winning a race in this series, and now this season has won races and a championship, so congratulations to him. Also thanks to Epic Media, Al, for putting together the league each week. Since I have his ear, we like it when the races go green, so hopefully we get some more of that next season, and thanks to you guys for putting on the show. I'll definitely go back and watch this one tomorrow.
There you hear it. Joe Schaefer Jr. here tonight in the Epic Media number 6 will pick up his second win of the season. He will see where he tallies into the point standing. Should be a top 5 finish this season for Joe Schaefer Jr. after everything's all said and done. The driver who will pick up 13 spots to finish in P number 2, though, J-Mac, another great run for you. It's been since, December since we got to talk to you. Walk us through a little bit of your night here tonight.
Yeah. Well, that was unexpected. I don't really know what to say. It just it kind of fell my way. I'm not really a hot lap guy, so when the format switched over with the coaches' corners races to the live qualifying to line up the field, that kind of put me behind the 8 ball a little bit. But I usually have okay race pace, I think. So I just kind of worked my way up through, and then I was 8th or 9th, I think, when that last yellow came out and guys started to drop down to pit road to take fuel. I had about 1.5 gallons left at that point. I hadn't pitted, so I was able to line up beside Joe. I was more worried about making sure I had enough fuel and not spinning the tires, and he just got a great launch, but it wouldn't have mattered anyways in that last restart because they ended up wadding up the field behind us. So I'll take it. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but congrats to Joe, and congrats to Guillaume as well, and his championship. It's very well deserved for him, and all in all, I think it was a pretty solid season.
It was a great season for you behind the wheel of car number 20. You should come home inside the top 10 in the point standings after all said and done. Who made it possible all season long to help you out here to keep the speed that you've had all season?
Yeah, well, first, I got to thank Al and AJ for all the work that they do for the league. There's a lot that goes into this, and we still had pretty good car counts here at the end of the year, so I think it's a testament to all the work that they do to make all the decisions and keep guys coming back. Congrats to Guillaume again. Like Joe said, it's the floodgates kind of open for him this year, and he's very well deserving of the championship. So I really enjoy racing with him. I enjoy racing with a lot of these guys that run up front here. They're all just so good, and it really pushes you to not make any mistakes and try to be as good as you can be when you're racing with them. And then I got to thank the Cerebral Palsy Foundation. I run them in all my cars. It's a foundation I hold very near and dear to my heart. Wegmans and Scott Austin at Austin Designs for the great paint scheme. And thanks to you, Roger and Kelly. You guys do a great job, and it's always a pleasure when I get an opportunity to speak with you.
There you go. We heard from him twice this season now. Justin McDuff picking up his second podium finish of the season right here in the season finale. He will finish P number 2. I believe Kelly Dahl standing by with a new dad and a new person to the podium here.
Yeah, caught up now with Al Smith Jr. And Al, we've spoken a lot over the years, but I don't know if we've ever talked post-race like this. But congratulations on your third place run tonight, and seems like you just had the feeling early on in this race and made that right call into the first yellow flag.
Yeah, well, in practice, when I added fuel, it helped free the car up. So I was like, oh, we'll go in and try that. And, as Justin said before me, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And after a lackluster of a season this year, a third place is quite surprising tonight, Kelly.
Well, it still was a good race for you here tonight. You had a fairly solid race throughout, even without the fuel kind of coming in and bringing you up towards the front. I mean, you were fighting throughout the field. How are you finding it making the passes here tonight?
Yeah, it was actually kind of like Joe said, long runs, a lot of comers and goers, people are overheating their tires or cars were just going away. I've always loved Five Flags, and I get around here pretty decently. I'm not a hot lapper, but it's I can run, and I enjoy running around guys, and got kind of snookered by Rochefort there before that last yellow flag came out, and I didn't realize the outside had as much grip, and he showed me a line and made it around Scott, and it was fun racing with everybody. Come from 19th to finish third, I know, aided by some people with some fuel issues or whatnot. Did not expect any fuel issues, so I apologize to those guys that they ran out of gas, but yeah, it was a good night. Can't complain. End the season out on a good note. Hopefully we maybe carry it into season 13.
Well, sometimes we will get you on here on the last broadcast of the season to kind of talk about the season and maybe give us a hint at what's coming. So how about we do that now? What do you think about this season? How well do you think it went? And maybe give us some hints on what might be coming next year.
Yeah, I think the season went well. We had a format change just to try to clean things up, and I think it did to a point. And we had the survey going out there, so we'll be reviewing all that. Appreciate all the drivers taking time to fill that out, so that way we can continue to grow and improve this. I think the last 2 weeks with it having, heads-up qualifying, the races were cleaner. That was good there. So might see a little bit more of that, maybe some random inverts or something. But, a long time to sit there and think about it and discuss it and try some stuff out during the summertime here. And we still got the dirt side that's a few weeks behind the asphalt. But that's been good racing on Sunday night there. So it's been a really good year. Everybody that was on the roster this year, top-notch drivers, and we had a rough patch, but I think that any league does. So really proud of everybody. Can't thank the sponsors enough. That make it all possible, especially with Beth's Colorful Creations, Rumar Vinyl Designs, tonight's race sponsor, Arts Barbershop, Eddie's Performance Solutions, Alexander Sign, Carpenter's Tax Service, Coach's Corner, Turn 3 Racing Network. You guys do an awesome job. There's just a bunch of the Stand RC Speedway, my RC track in Gansvert. Just everybody that makes it all possible. Hanson Starter Shop. You can't do it without all the sponsors. And, a lot of them are return sponsors. So, I really appreciate all their support.
Well, you heard it from him, drivers. If you don't fill out that year-end survey, you have no right to complain next year.
Yeah, I mean, it helps us kind of gauge what people want, what people like, what changes. You know how it is. How would you run it if you ran the races? So we take it all in and try to mash it all up, come up with something that keeps people coming back. And, I think we do a good job at that. I would say, every year we have a lot of repeat drivers, and, I really appreciate them coming in and spending their winter time with us. I know that there's, a lot of different leagues out there, and, hopefully they like what we do and to see that we try to improve and make it better each and every year.
Well, thanks for coming out and talking to us, Al, but instead of letting you go, we're going to give the floor to you to introduce our 2022-2023 Season 12 champion.
Yeah, for the first time, Quebec's Guillaume Fortin going to pick up the championship. Came in with a 20-point lead here tonight. And, Guillaume is going to pick up his first championship after picking up his first 2 wins of his career. Had been very close previously. And, Guillaume, this championship, very well deserved. Great season. And a nice rebound here tonight for the last race. Congratulations.
Thank you, Al.
Well, Guillaume, I got a few more questions for you before I can let you go celebrate, but hopefully your heart rate has maybe calmed down a little bit after the end of that race. I mean, run us through the last little bit. What were you thinking when you saw the first few drivers head down pit road?
I knew I was good on fuel because the whole race I was like halfway on throttle, so I knew I had 1 or 2 laps to the good. But when that caution flew, I was a little bit mad because I knew that was going to mean that some guys were going to stay out and some guys that wouldn't stay out. And a wreck happened just in front of me, so I thought I lost the championship right there because Bill went through. But in the end, I was able to keep the car straight after hitting the wall. But it was a fun race and an awesome season 2. I can't ask for anything more.
Well, as we've mentioned a few times, you came into this season after being with this league for a very long time without a win. Now you come away 2 wins and a championship to your name. And what do you think was really the big change that you made to make that next step to the next level here?
I mean, since this year, I started focusing a little bit more on races. I started practicing a little bit more too. So I have a feeling that this is it, because the previous season I wasn't doing like race run before the race or anything else, and this year I kind of went all in and I wanted to chase that championship. So I believe that practice is what gave me the chance to win this year.
Well, there you go. Put in the practice, put in the work, and you will see the results. So, Guillaume, are we going to see you again next year and maybe go for back-to-back?
Oh yeah, for sure. I absolutely love this league, and it's awesome to race with everybody in this league. And Al is putting a great show up there, so I'll be back next year for sure.
All right. Well, one last time, Guillaume, who would you like to thank for this whole season that you've had, and who would you like to thank that for really getting yourself to the championship?
First of all, I have to thank my sponsor at Absolution. After that, every driver in this league that they're the reason that we're having so much fun each week. Also, Al for the work he does for the dirt side and also the asphalt side, and you guys for broadcasting the race. It's pretty amazing.
Well, there you have it. Our Season 12 2022-2023 champion, Guillaume Fortin. Congratulations once again, and we'll let you go celebrate now.
Thank you, guys.
All right, now to send it back to Roger for maybe a few closing thoughts on tonight's race and the season in general.
Guillaume Fortin will pick up that championship. You just heard from him. You heard from your top 3 drivers here tonight, but it was all about the championship night here tonight, presented by Rumar Vinyl Designs here for the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series. Guillaume had one heck of a season as he picks up 2 wins en route to his first ever championship. Stephen Rochefort will pick up the Rookie of the Year championship, so congratulations to Stephen and the whole crew of car number 66. They had a good season, picked up a win along the way en route to picking up that Rookie of the Year championship. There were other battles throughout the rest of the field, but with the scoring being all jumbled at the end of this one, we can't exactly break down your top 10 in points after this one here at the Five Flags Speedway. Everybody getting their cars through tack and the scoring getting all tacked on. But Kelly, it was a heck of a season for season number 12 here at the Upstate Racing League. We saw the most rookies ever go to victory lane in the Upstate Racing seasons that we've ever seen before. So a lot of good, diverse racing between all the drivers from the top to the bottom here this season. At one point, you could have put a case in for any one of these drivers to pick up their first career wins in the series. The deficit in talent has really come close together here on the asphalt side of things. Looking forward to season number 13 and working again with you, Kelly, next season.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to next season again already, and it's been, like you said, it's been a fantastic season. We had 12 races, and I believe we had 8 different winners throughout, so it has been a very tightly contested season the whole way through, and championship came down to the last night between those 2 drivers, and came down all the way to the last lap, really, so I really couldn't ask for any much more of this from this league and from these drivers, so hopefully we'll see all these guys back again next year, and maybe a few more drivers as well. If you're out there and you're wanting to get involved, keep an eye out on the Upstate Racing League Facebook page. Around the fall time, they will be announcing their approval series and be announcing signups for the next season of the Upstate Racing League.
We do got to thank all the sponsors this season: Project Confusion, Arts Barbershop, Rumar Vinyl Designs, Hanson Starter Shop, Carpenter's Tax Service, Xander Sign Group, Eddie Performance Solution, the RC Stand Speedway, and of course, the Coach's Corner, for all their continued support here with the Upstate Racing League. But that's going to wrap things up here from Pensacola, Florida here tonight. The Rumar Vinyl Designs 125 winner Joe Schaefer Jr. and the Best Colorful Creations Pro Series champion here for season number 12. That will go to the number 13G of Guillaume Fortin as he picks up his first career win. We hope you enjoyed the season here with us on the Turn 3 Racing Network. For Kelly Dahl, I'm Roger Muth. We hope you enjoyed all season here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. But until we see you next season, race fans, everybody stay safe, and we'll see you in Turn 3.
Do you need to tell the world something? Do you need to get it out there? How about making your next ride just a little more sharp? From t-shirts to vinyl graphics to banners, your one-stop shop is Rumar Vinyl Design. Want to make that truck stand out or maybe a banner for your next business gathering? Rumar can do it all. They can even screen print on almost anything. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, even those lucky sweatpants you can't throw out. Yep, they can even do that too. For your next event, gathering, or race, your one call should be to Rumar Vinyl Design. Like them on Facebook or give them a call, 315-486-1384, Rumar Vinyl Design.